Hello and welcome back to the Gamer's Tale. We are getting back into the Forging the Onyx campaign. Last week, our heroes went on yet another shopping spree where Bruno Watt purchased a number of things, including the directions on how to make a golem of iron manufacture.
An iron golem, yeah. It's a one-use thing, but I feel like I really need it in my life.
Yeah, definitely, man. And everyone else got something. There was some things to boost. I believe it was strength, the claws of a dragon for Tredscala, or something that makes him more effective as a druid.
I don't think it makes him more effective as a druid. I just think it makes him hurt people more.
As a druid.
Are you?
The insignia of claws,
Oh yeah.
whatever that is.
That and
He's
me and Tread bought books.
Yeah,
he's got
I
an
forgot about
insignia of
that.
claws. He has a beard. He is Santa Claus.
Does Tread have a beard?
Yes.
Oh shit, that's right. He has the belt of dwarven kind,
Yes, he does. And he has the equivalent of a lizard beard, like a frilled lizard, but
like a bearded dragon's
yeah,
beard.
That is so
pretty
funny.
much. I'm just going to turn you up just a little bit. There you go.
Me?
200. No, Tread.
Good. Tread, how have you been?
Good.
Jesus, you're quiet.
I mean, I could switch to my phone.
I mean,
You do whatever is comfortable for you.
yeah.
I'll just switch to.
I mean, it works. Quick, let's share all the important information while he's gone. Anyway. So yeah, you guys you get out of the shop and you kind of putter around a bit. It's like, oh man, I got cool stuff. And yeah, I'm assuming after spending crap loads of money, you'd go like sleep or something.
Can I go to the post office?
Um,
I need a courier.
Better.
yes, much.
Yeah,
Oh.
much better.
Good.
I can't live without hearing Tread just question random everyday items. What is this?
It's adorable. It's perfect. I love it.
What is toilet paper?
Your butt napkins, my lord.
Oh, oh dear me.
Oh god.
I loved that. I love that little skeleton toilet paper holder. It was lovely.
I love playing Bruno, but I kind of really want him to die so that I can make my necromancer now.
And then raise Bruno.
No, I'm not gonna raise Bruno. I'm gonna make an army of skeletons.
Well, I'm glad you have these plans.
Oh, it's I've done the math.
Does that mean everybody else has to die too? I hope not.
No, you guys, I control them. They're mine.
Yes.
No, I meant, does everybody have to die in the conflict where you die because we all fight together and stuff?
Well, I mean, Tread didn't die last time, did he? Tread?
No, he didn't.
Eh.
Okay, so
Anyway,
you want to find a courier.
yeah, I'm gonna send this book of this manual of iron golems to Henry with a very explicit note stating that this is what he's to work on from now on. I don't care what else I've told him. This. Hire additional workers if he needs to. With the money I gave him, I'll replace it.
Okay.
But I need it now.
So I'm assuming the rest of you like go find a place to stay. Meanwhile, Bruno's just like, I need you to take this, and harrying the people at the courier service, and they put a rush delivery on it, and they take his package and begin hightailing it to the Oasis.
All right, so he and Tread were reading their books.
Yes.
To like get smarter and dexterous and more intelligent.
Yes. I forgot
Treads
exactly
eyes in opposite directions.
reading
We got-
both of the pages at the same time.
We got what, Dex. Craig, what did we get?
I got Dex.
Fuck, what
I
was
think
the
you
three?
got Dex and something else.
Dex,
got-
2 intelligence, and 1 of something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got 2 Dex, 1 intelligence, and
strength.
was
I
it
thought it was.
One,
Was
yeah,
the
1 strength.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I need strength, but I'm a fucking have it. I'll fucking. You know what, Brock? Can you read?
We've determined that he
Yeah.
can.
Would you like to make yourself stronger?
Yes.
You may have this book. You need to read it over the course of. You need to spend 48 hours reading it over the course of 7 days.
Well, I know what we're
Alright.
doing for the next 2 days.
Do you now?
Sitting around.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
Well, I mean, you don't gotta spend like 48 hours straight. You know, as long
Okay,
as you
so
complete.
You can be gay while doing it too.
Or I could just spend 48 hours. Is it permanent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is. That's what.
and
That's
if you
How
And
much
if
of
you
an
live-
increase?
2,
to the score.
To the modifier?
2 to the score.
No to the score.
So
So your
plus
modifier
one.
goes up by 1.
If it was 2 to the modifier, those things would be like hotcakes, and I wouldn't have given them to you.
I mean, they are very rare.
They are. Unlike today, where you get self-help books all the time.
I mean, a good one is very rare.
This is true. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are staying in like the place within Healat that you stayed
Where-
before, one of the major ones.
Where was that anyway?
I forget actually. I don't think I have an inn for the Healat area. If I do, I think it might be Preacher's Inn or something. That sounds about right. Because Chicky Crayfish Arms is in Giva. Yeah. Oh, I should probably turn on a light so I can see something in this room. I just feel like every next session of D&D just makes me an older, crankier man. I don't know why. Maybe it's the switch to OBS. Anyway. Yeah, no. Yeah, we'll just I think it was like one of the higher end establishments in the city. And you guys just kind of stayed there. Yeah. No, I don't have anything written down for the place in here. So you guys are kind of staying where you stayed before. Now that you have Frederick's kind of ranking in here, you get the nicer apartments. You even get a discount price for being repeat patrons. The night passes without incident, and when you guys are sitting down to breakfast, a man comes in. He has the headscarves and face masks or scarf over the or veil over the face of the area, but it's in a rich blue, and he looks rather familiar. And he walks up to the table and he pulls away the veil, and you see Alan, one of Frederick's old retainers.
Alan, how are you?
I'm well, sir.
Have you discovered anything here in Healot you'd like to tell me or us?
Actually, I just got in from the Oasis. I had gone back, but I was sent with an urgent message to you, Mr. Busk. A message from the king, and he hands you a letter envelope, sealed
Okay.
with the Dervish King seal.
Okay. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome. Is there anything else that you would like me to do?
Not right now, actually.
All right, I shall wait for our departure. And you guys
Very
kind of
good.
sits in the corner.
And I'm silently thinking he knows something I don't.
Alan knows a
All
lot of
right,
things you all
so
don't.
yeah, I know. Okay, so let's take a look at. Oh wait, maybe I should go to like a private room or something.
Oh, I think it was the Moon and the Bush Inn. That was this place.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so do you go off into...
Yeah, real quick. As long as this letter is not like 20 million pages long.
Okay. You go off into your private rooms, and the letter pretty much says that some things have been stirring on the western side of the inland sea, and the Dervish King has received some correspondence with some of the nobility and the power structures north of the plateau, which you have no idea what that means. It's just that there's a plateau somewhere, and he wants you to take whomever you see fit with you to engage in a diplomatic mission, for lack of a better term.
Diplomatic mission
Yes.
to the western lands.
No, to the area north of the plateau.
To the north of the plateau. Okay. I think that's really super far away from here, isn't it?
The plateau? Well,
Yeah.
if we go to the world map, which I don't know if I have the world map in here. Is this it? Oh, this is a world map. This will suffice. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The plateau continues on past where the map is, but this is the edge of the plateau that you can see, and it kind of follows that line and evens out more over on this side. But it's not as far as if you had been in, say, the Oasis.
Okay. So that's the part of it we can see from here.
You technically can't really see it. It is several weeks' journey, but it's kind of like the Rockies to an extent, that you can see them for miles and miles and miles, but you don't really get the sense that you can see whatever this place is. See if I
Okay.
have... Okay, what?
If we've got to go there, I mean, if it's a diplomatic mission, to my knowledge, we're Frederick's retainers who are now my retainers. Any good at diplomacy?
You remember
I
that
should
Eric
be.
is actually pretty decent at smooth talking people.
I mean, if myself doesn't botch it, my character's got good charisma.
I mean, as far as that goes, so do I, which is okay.
Okay.
So let's bring the retainers and everybody and go to north of the plateau. Oh, do we have the airship service or do we need wagons?
Are you asking me, or are you just like in your private quarters thinking about this aloud?
Oh, I forgot about that. I got to tell everybody. Okay, so is this written in is the letter written in common or some other language?
It is written in common.
Okay. So I tell everybody, hey guys, I got a message from the Dervish King that says we are needed on a diplomatic mission north of the plateau. Are you willing to come along with me?
What is diplomatic?
Where people talk to each other to try to solve problems, ideally without violence.
How can any problems be solved through talking?
That's what humans have been trying to figure out for centuries, which is why they have to practice at it seemingly endlessly.
Blinks both eyes at different times.
I'd be game to go.
Okay.
I don't think we should take the airship though. It'll take us longer to take the carts. But if we're going on a diplomatic mission, that's not something that the Dervish King would want. A potential enemy to know about.
Hmm.
Allies are a different
Okay.
story, but enemies for sure you don't want them to know what you have till you have to use it.
All right.
Alan kind of
That's a
sees
good
you
idea.
talking, approaches, and says, "The air. Are you discussing how to reach the Tempest King's domain?"
The Tempest King. The letter didn't mention anything about that.
Well, I was informed that you were going to the area of Sunless. That is the domain of the Tempest King.
Okay. What can you tell me about it?
It's a heavily wooded area north of the plateau. From here, it'd probably be easier to take a boat.
Hmm.
There are a number of trade routes between Olton and Senless, but for the most part is easily, and he explains this in a much more elegant fashion, that it's easy. Most of the trade between Olton and Senless is done by ship and through the inland sea.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I had the full map up here because I forgot to upload that. Wait, no, I do have that. Hang on. He explains that the area is a significantly different temperature from Olton, and that it deals more in cattle, farm animals, and things such as, where the hell is my library? There it is. And things such as wood because of its abundance. If I can just get this right, I can get you a picture of what he's talking about, because he actually probably would have brought a map with him.
Well, hot cha cha.
If you do that in game, Alan will probably be tempted to slap you.
Uh,
Okay. So, just have to hop over to here because I have so many maps still up. There. Okay, this is a significantly better made map than the hand-drawn one that I have before. The plateau is that weird brown squiggle between the light brown and the place that has an assload of trees.
light brown swiggle.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so if you need a ping, this.
Okay, I thought it might have been that rust-colored band right there. Okay, so that's the plateau.
That's the plateau. The air.
Quick
The
question.
yes,
I'm sorry, please finish.
the plateau runs pretty much the absolute north. It's the unofficial official northern border of Olton.
Okay. Number one, what did you use to make this map?
This is from Incarnate.
Incarnate?
Yes, this is a part of their free version. They have a paid version that apparently is a lot better. I've seen some people do a lot of
That's
really
still
good things.
That's still bomb. I'm gonna have to get that now.
Yeah,
It's a very cool thing, yeah.
I like it. I need to do more maths with it. Like I want to eventually have like a proper map of each of the cities, like with little houses and roads and stuff like that, and have that level of detail. It's just that I can't find a place that fits that role that isn't like $100 to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, Healot, of course, is right here, and I forget the name of the port city that you're most likely to go to, and I don't think. Wait,
Looks like that one right there.
this is the port city. I forgot if I have a name for it though. Yeah. But
How is going on this diplomatic mission supposed to help us with finding Saronica?
this is kind of stop what you're doing. This is more important, kind of thing.
Oh, more important than Saronicus, huh?
Saronicus is a quiet problem for him. This is an open
But
problem.
it's pretty immediate. I mean, they kidnapped him at one point.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to try that one again.
Yes.
Let's fucking do it.
Okay.
I'd like to see what's what over here exactly.
You're going to need to be specific, please.
What?
I want to see what's what over here exactly. What do
Oh,
you
I
want to
mean-
find out?
Well, no, I mean, we got to go to the port city, right? Then we got to sail, like, over here.
You are in Heelot, the major port city of Olton.
Okay. Oh, we need to charter a boat. Are there any captains running around we can get hold of?
You can look.
I mean, in a port city, there ought to be. I'll start asking around.
Okay. You find a number of individuals. Some of them old, some of them new. Let me see if I can still find the one that you actually took over here. That is the wrong note. I believe that is. Let's call that
Bless you.
Raynet.
Thank you.
All right, so you start asking around, and you hear like recommendations for a number of sea captains. You hear that the corner book, runs by Captain Ross, is back in port and ready for charter if need be.
Corner book broke by Captain Ross.
For those of you who do not
Okay.
remember, this is the one that was chartered by Sir Ulgrim to get you all across from Sarand.
Oh, wow. That's been a
Oh.
long time ago then.
Yes. So, what do you do?
Yeah, let's go. I mean, does he. I mean, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know me personally, does he?
You might seem familiar to him.
Okay. So, I mean, I could go up and introduce myself and tell him we need to.
You
I'd like to
could.
book passage to
Are
whatever
you
this
gonna
thing is.
Are you gonna RP
Yeah.
it, or are you just gonna say you're gonna
Yeah,
do it?
let's. I'd. I don't know if I'd like to RP. I mean, RPing is fine. I'm just have to figure out what to reveal and what not to reveal, so that I don't blow a diplomatic mission by not keeping my mouth shut. That's my only concern.
So you're asking around. You're waiting in the major the place where you're staying, which I believe is the Moon and Bush Inn. Captain Ross comes in. His bearded elven features, odd among his kind, curly hair, very upright manner. Some of you look familiar. I'm here for a Mr. Basque.
That's me, Captain.
Ah,
I'm looking to book passage to whatever the name of the city is. Town.
you can just go Senless with the name of the place.
Senless. Senless.
All right, then that's very much doable. It would be a hefty fare, so short and so mid-season. There's a number of storms going around. It's starting to be like spring or summer around here. So
Okay.
that last part was out of Captain Ross's character. He resuming. It should take maybe a week, maybe 3, depending on wind and availability.
Okay.
When do you wish to leave? Is this a future plan? Is this just fact finding?
We'd like to leave as soon as possible, actually. As soon as is convenient for you.
That'll probably be tomorrow morning. I have some preparations to make, things to get on land, and that would require a rush fee, shall we say. How many will be accompanying you, Mr. Basque?
Oh, let's see. Silently tries to count on fingers. 1, 2, 3.
You are educated, are you not?
Yes, of course.
Hmm.
Let's see. 3 retainers, me.
The other 2 retainers aren't even here. You realize that, right?
Oh, okay, so Eric, me, Brock, Bruno, Tread. There's 5. Am I forgetting anyone? Tell me I'm not forgetting anyone.
Well, Eric's not even in the city, if I remember correctly. He's in the Oasis.
Alan.
Alan.
Alan, wait a minute. Oh, okay, so it's Alan, so it's still 5 though.
Yes. Alan,
Okay,
Brock, Bruno, Lundgren.
Tread. So it'll be me and 4 more, Captain.
That would be fun. And how quickly do you wish to reach Senless?
You said between 1 to 3 weeks. Maybe a week and a half or 2 would be okay.
All right, then I will not add the extra charge of expediency. It'd be about 3,000 gold.
Kai,
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you're gonna want to get there as fast as possible. It's a diplomatic thing.
I forgot about that. I'm not used to diplomancing. Okay, so
Not quite the word, but yeah.
Diplomacy.
He's a diplomancer.
I'm a diplomancer.
That's a
Just sounds
bard.
like another name for a bard.
Or certain
Okay,
brands of
so
paladin, if you think about it.
True.
come to think of it, Captain, on second thought, I think I'd rather get there sooner rather than later. So you said it was 3K without the rush fee. How much is it with the rush fee?
About 4,500 gold pieces.
4,500. Silently thinks as to whether we have 4,500 GP.
Yes. Don't.
But I'm sure we do, but that's interesting to me because I can't hold it. Because
Your bank
I
is the
realized-
lizard man.
I realized that I couldn't hold it because of the fact that after about 2,000 or so gold, I can't move because it's too much. Of course, before I played D&D, I didn't know that. So I asked Tread to give me the dough, and then I hand it to
What
the
is
captain.
dough?
I would say Trey would know what dough
Boodle.
is. But,
The boodle, the quid,
but he's
We don't
mostly
have any
pagan.
dough in here. Oh, you meant money? Here you go.
If this persists much longer, I'm going to have a hell of a time.
You see Captain Ross is very unimpressed with the system of power in this group. I see you have a number of things to take care of. He takes out a strip of paper. He gets a quill and he writes down very neatly, by the way, like an address. It says, when you have figured it all out, you may send the payment to this address to my own accountant. I have preparations to make, and without asking for leave, he spins on his heel and walks out of the area.
Forgot to ask him if he had a favorite courier for this type of service.
He expected you to get there yourself. It's not his problem, as long as he gets paid.
Okay. All right, so I'll get the 4,500 from Tread, and I will. I'd have to hire a courier, although I do have Alan here. I mean,
Do you wish me to take the funds to their appropriate location, sir?
Yes, Alan. Please do.
All right. Please gather them, and I will take care of this immediately.
Okay.
Here you go. And I just dump it on the floor.
I pick it up real quick, of course.
He helps scoops it up and takes the appropriate amount, and just hauling was probably an ungodly amount of coinage across the town to the appropriate area, and he returns by nightfall, informing you that payment the payment has been transferred, and he has a receipt.
Thank you.
Very good, sir.
I'll take that receipt though.
He hands you the receipt. Okay.
I was partially bracing for what is a receipt?
Yeah. He's whispering it.
Okay.
What is a receipt?
I'll tell you later. I should say, actually, I whisper back. Proof that we paid so that the captain doesn't punish us for sneaking aboard ship.
Ah.
Oh man, it's great. I always love player theories. In another game I'm running, they're also charting a ship, and they're like, "This ship is too nice. These people are obviously slavers. They're gonna sell us the moment they get into port."
Oh man.
Oh, it's much worse than that. What?
They're all vampires.
I hope that means we don't have to fight them.
Whom?
I don't know at this point. I mean, that we don't have to fight the crew of the boat.
My goodness. I just realized that the literal image of Lundgren Bask is like an alternate universe form of Vermin Supreme, but instead of a boot on his head, he has a pot.
No, it's young Vernon Supreme.
Young Vernon.
This is rather strange already, huh?
Let's be honest, your party is, or every D&D party is rather strange.
That's true.
This
I
is
have
weird.
no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so, if there's nothing else you people would like to do.
What do you mean, you people?
I was waiting for that. I legitimately was waiting for that. Like, I should not have said that with this group. Is there... Oh, in my Curse of Strahd game, we had determined when our bard, who was a Kenku, was alive, that there is in fact bird racism. Yes.
Interesting.
Between ravens and magpies, I think.
Huh.
That's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, so the evening passes without incident. Bruno's package has been sent off, and it's probably getting there. You rise, early. You've been on sea voyages before, and Alan knows how to motivate a man. No, he knows how to. He is probably the most put together of all of Frederick's retainers. He is also the eldest of them, so he's been around. He's done things.
Okay.
He's seen some shit.
He has. Really, he has. So he gets everything kind of all ready, and like by the time you guys get up, it looks like he's been up at least 30 to 40 minutes, and like he's probably washed and prepped himself. And he leads you to the area, and you're met by a representative of the ship, and you are brought aboard the Corner Brook and greeted by Captain Randar Ross once more. And then you're shown your quarters, and just as the sun is rising, you push off from Pialot and travel north in the inland sea toward the land of Senless.
Huzzah!
For those of you who wish to, I need some perception checks.
I'll throw one.
Okay.
Boop.
Lundgren, it's actually very refreshing to be back out on the open ocean. You wouldn't have expected that given your landlocked,
Whoops.
given your landlocked upbringing, but it kind of reminds you of the openness that the immense mountain of North Spire had when you looked over like some of the massive cliffs that it has. But instead of just sea of grass, you see ocean. Brocht and Bruno, you see the various kind of some porpoises going in and out of the water, various other sea life, and you see some birds in the distance. It's kind of probably gulls and things like that. Tretskala, you see very minutely a flock of birds, and even at this distance, you can tell that they are of a size that could be worrisome. You're not really sure when a large flock of birds would move into this area, but it certainly is odd.
Large birds coming this way.
No, they're not necessarily coming this way. They're kind of
I see.
in the air, like
Keep an eye on those birds, just in case.
yeah.
Okay.
Out of character, there was a large, I think it was a peregrine falcon, very poofy on top of the corn crib, this week, and I'm thinking it's kind of similar to that. It's like, oh, there's a large bird. It's not necessarily attacking me, but it's interesting to note.
Cool.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you guys like to do on your week-long excursion as the sails strain against the wind, the creaking of timber and wood rock you to sleep at night, and the crew works furiously to get as much out of the sails as they can?
Just glad I'm not seasick. I don't think I ought to be mixing poison or anything else on the boat.
You can
I'm going to keep us well fed by turning into a shark and going fishing.
Sounds like fun.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I wonder if I have anything that could help us.
Roll a survival check for fishing.
Oh,
Wow!
You eats it.
Oh,
Wait. Shouldn't he get advantage because survival is kind of like fishing is a natural thing for a shark?
True, but also you have to remember that the natural thing for shark is to eat all of it.
Not
I mean, let's be real.
necessarily.
Tread would eat anything. What I eat. Is it
Eat-
plastic rings?
insect legs, for heaven's sake.
No.
Huge insects.
But you find these strange plastic manacles around your wrists and ankles when you get out of the water.
Oh, dear.
Fantastic.
No,
I forgot about this.
My fishing trip didn't go too great today.
you find Tread just climbing over the side of the thing and just head to toe in seaweed.
Ugh. All right, let's get him out of that. Are you okay, Tread?
I start eating some of it.
Oh, I forgot
You
about
kind of
that.
found like this old fisherman net caught up in millions. It's like, and you get your teeth kind of stuck. It's like, oh crap, and it's kind of wrapped around you in
Yes, seaweed.
it's kind of like how you see cats with the really super long hair try to lick themselves, but instead their tongue just sticks And it's kind of the
Mhm.
same thing
I-
with what Tread's doing now. Is
I
you see?
I cast Mage Hand and try to pull it loose.
Okay. It kind of you kind of help unwind it, but you also kind of help wrap him up more because of he doesn't really know you're doing that, and so he suddenly just
Oh,
kind of turns and just
oh, okay.
it's
I'll
getting
dismiss
worse.
it.
I'm just gonna wild shape into a fly and then go back.
All of a sudden, all the stuff that was on Tread just flops to the floor, and boom, Tread comes back out a fly shape, and it's like,
Sometimes I forget you can do that.
Sometimes I do too.
I forgot one thing that I forgot when I was getting the rituals for 4th and level down from there, 4th to 1, that I could cast divination as a 4th level ritual.
okay.
And I don't know, like,
You ask a
I don't want to
deity.
ask vague questions. I know
It's
you
pretty
ask in
much
D&D.
it's yes or no answers that you might get a maybe or no answer at all.
Yeah.
That you ask of a deity. Of which deity do you wish to ask?
There's a
Ask
choice?
Skull Cow.
There is a choice. This is generally that divination is generally something like a cleric or a paladin spell that they would ask their beneficiary or like for you your warlock.
My patron?
Yes.
So I could ask my patron, like, if we would have success on this mission?
If it has enough power to do so, yes.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Side note on that too. They don't have to give an answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Your four
Okay.
options are no answer, maybe, yes, no, no with consequences, yes with consequences, magic 8 ball.
So this doesn't that depend on the role that you make?
No, that's entirely up to the DM.
Oh, okay. So
Because
maybe
literally
the
the
first
role,
and last
because literally the
time
role
will be
is, I cast divination. I ask a question. What do I get?
so magic 8 ball,
Magic 8 ball, at
more or
the
less.
DM's discretion. Really great for new players too. To give them an in-game method to ask like, what should we do if we don't know what we're doing?
Should we do this? Should we do
Sh-
that?
Should we do the other?
Also, I think there's like I think it's for 30 minutes if I remember correctly.
What?
All right.
Put you or activity to occur within 7 days. The spell doesn't take into account
Yeah. Your
Magic Conch. Am I ever gonna get married? Maybe someday.
the conch has
If I-
spoken.
If I do it more than once or twice with before a long rest, it's a 25% chance that it might not get an answer.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
it was the only
All
thing I
hail the Magic Conch.
it was the only thing I could think of to do that didn't involve mixing chemicals on a flammable object.
Okay.
Have you considered summoning a familiar?
I can cast Find Familiar as a ritual.
Yes. Have you considered that?
No, I have not. Okay, so I could make. Let's see what I could make. Uh, services over familiar, blah blah blah. Of a
Hey, this would
bat,
also be a great time to use our books.
bat, cat, crab, frog, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous
Bat
snake,
cat.
I
etc.,
heard
etc.
bat crap.
Spider, spider, weasel. Okay, so if I summon a bat, I could ask him to scout out the forest for me then. Or some.
As you can see from this map, the forest seems to be larger than Alton. I mean,
Okay,
you can
so
if you plan to scout the entire forest, that's gonna take you like a lifetimes. But if you're gonna
okay,
send it ahead to scout out things, sure, go ahead.
so I'd like to ask the bat to telepathically ask the bat to check out like see if there are any dangerous animals near the port or near the edge of the forest where we're going to be going at.
When are you casting this spell?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Like, if you're
It's like
trying
a
to do this, like, while your guys are say here, and telling a bat to fly would probably be multiple days to
no,
land
okay,
to a
because it
place.
because it doesn't last that long. I need to wait until like we're
That and the bat probably would get fatigued and drowned somewhere between there and there.
yeah. Okay, I forgot about that.
There's travel time involved. So that for me, this is
I
like the first day you guys are on the ship.
okay. Well, I can't do it then because it would never make it.
Precisely.
Well, you
I
you can do the spell. You just don't need to send it scouting right now.
Yeah.
okay, so I could just keep a bat that I telepathically communicate with, like
Yeah,
hanging
he can
out.
just be your friend, like my summoned animals. Speaking of which,
Let's not. Not on the
I'm not gonna roll. We're doing this for weeks.
Because if we're going to be
But
sailing, I'm going to be
I'm
reading that
making
book.
it very clear that I'm summoning animals every day for this trip.
Okay. The crew is not happy.
I have 2 books, right? So
Yes.
I'll spend 4 days reading the books.
Okay. Brock and Bruno, all the bees. Watt and Bruno. Watt and Brock? God damn it. Watt and Brock spend multiple days reading their books, enough to get the benefits thereof. Does Tread also wish to read from the book?
Yes,
All right.
as well as hunting. But yes.
All right. So, is there anything else anyone would like to do on the boat?
I can't think of anything right now. I'm still trying to figure out how I can use these new rituals to better advantage, even though I read them
Oh,
and
hey.
stuff.
I will remind you, you do have some stuff that you picked up on your adventures.
Stuff?
Yeah, that you didn't get identified.
Oh. Okay, which things were that again? That sword from what's his face?
There was a sword from
The
Bandor the
Demolisher
Deathbringer.
guy. Okay.
Excuse me, real quick. I had Constitution and Intelligence, right?
Uh,
I believe so.
possibly.
I think it was
Dexterity.
Dex and Intelligence.
It was Dex and
Okay.
Intelligence, because there's Dex, Strength, and Intelligence. There was nothing for Constitution.
Even better.
Okay, so you still have a set of studded leather and a weird, kind of pockmarked looking sword. I believe it was a long
Okay.
sword.
I can cast Identify as a ritual on that.
Okay.
So let's do it.
You find that the studded leather is a glamored studded. Oh, and a couple of other like blades and things. You find a dwarven thrower. You have already found that, and you know what that is, or at least Tread knows what that is.
Mm-hmm.
The studded leather is glamored studded leather, which you actually can find in the compendium, which is super handy.
Fancy.
There is a dwarven blade, if I remember correctly, that you guys picked up.
Okay.
That was a warhammer. No, warhammer half plate. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a dwarven blade in there. I think that meant that even if it was is like a natural +1 weapon that was super sharp. No. That wasn't that one. Is it this one? There was one thing. It was a short sword, if I remember correctly. That is. I'm just trying to find it. That's not the right one. Nor is that. Anyway, it was a dwarven blade that ignored a couple of things when it was used. Yes. A dwarven blade short sword is a +1 weapon and ignores resistances. So, like, for example, if Brock were raging and he was stabbed with it, his damage reduction would not. His resistance to piercing and slashing damage would not take account.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for knocking over other barbarians.
Or, things
And
with
maybe-
resistances.
Yeah,
Ye.
yeah.
The longsword itself is this little special thing. I need to be able to see that. Thank you very much. There we go. It is a rather expensive longsword. It has -1 on attacks, but it deals temporary dexterity damage and is made out of a rare metal known as Gehenna Morgoth iron.
Wait, what is this weapon?
It's a longsword that Bando the Deathbringer wielded.
Oh, that guy that I beat his ass.
Yes.
Then you finish him off with your flaming aura.
Yeah.
That was like the most anticlimactic way to kill an enemy.
I
Yeah,
should
I
have
know.
souped that guy up a lot more because he couldn't land anything on you guys.
I gotta turn on a light. Hold on.
No. You must play in the dark. No. I get it.
Darkness.
Darkness consumes you.
How'd you know that?
How do I know what? That darkness consumes you?
Yeah.
It's a safe bet.
I mean,
Darkness consumes all.
you guys. Never mind. Oh, by the way, no, we can talk about that later. So yeah, those are your halls. You find this out on the ship. It's smooth sailing for the most part. There is one day when it rains a little bit. And you make it to the port city of Senlis. As of yet,
Huzzah!
moderately named, unnamed, not labeled. Anyway, so it's a bustling place. It's definitely not Olton. Like in Olton, you see a combination, at least in Healot, of kind of Sarandian architecture mixed with Altanian architecture, whereas kind of like if you found a European town built in the Middle East with Middle Eastern architecture all around it. This is very much for what we know, kind of a Germanic style port city. In that it's kind of like Saran, but it's much more earthy in feel, and it doesn't have some of the polished elven architecture that Saran has in places like Imbendril and to an extent St. Chrysanius. But it very much feels like a port town, and it's got the feeling like the piers had, in that it's part of it's ramshackle, but the other part is solidly very well made, very attention to detail oriented. There's decent carvings of things on the woodwork, but you don't really get like the references. It's like going to a museum and seeing art from other countries. Like, wow, that looks cool. I have no idea what the significance it is, but it looks cool.
Is there any writing on it that I could read, or is it just like drawings that I don't know the meaning of?
It is scroll work. is just scroll work and like inlays of scenes, very similar to the
Oh.
frescoes of Alton and the Oasis. But instead
Okay.
of it being made up of tiny little tiles and paintings, someone decided to carve this into the side of a building, or the wooden like where are those things called? Not banisters. Well, banisters we probably have it. Stuff at the bottom of
So
walls.
building murals or like the molding.
Yeah, the molding. It's like this there's carvings of stuff all over the place, and most of it's kind of decorative. Seems like a lot of it's either made out of boredom, and some of it looks like really well crafted, and there's various styles all over the place. And like by styles, I mean like someone looks like they did it with a really crappy pocket knife as maybe their first attempt at making anything, and someone looks like it took them 2 to 3 hours or days to make some of them, or longer.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so there is a preponderance of humans within the port city. You see a couple of greenskin folk, a goblin here and there. A lot more half orcs than you're used to seeing. So, what do you guys do?
Okay, so did the letter tell me anything about where to go?
They said specifically the power structure in the north of Sunless, and in parts of it, it makes some reference to. Let me just check my names, otherwise I don't want to like have to redo stuff for it. One makes a reference to the Lord of the Forest. It seems to be specifically vague. The other one specifically references John the Butcher.
John the Butcher.
John the Butcher as the
Okay.
king, as in his residence in Agon.
Okay. All right, so we should try to go see if we could find the Lord of the Forest and or John the Butcher.
Yes.
And a gun. Oh, okay. That's what it says on the map, duh.
Yes.
I'm thinking things I can't say.
You can say them. Whether I'm not annoyed by them or not is an entirely different proposition.
That's why I didn't want to say it. That's why I didn't want to say it.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's John the
gonna-
Butcher.
Okay. All right, so let's go to Agon and talk to him.
Yes. So, you ask for directions, and you are guided along the main road to Prem. The forests are very, very dense in this area. Since it is getting to spring, there's a lot of leaves getting around. They're just starting to bud out. It's very nice. Tread, you very much like this. It kind of reminds you of the forests of home and a little bit of the swamps.
Yes.
Other than that, not much happens. You hear whisperings of kind of like in the inns and things that you stop at of a strange creature that appeared somewhere in the southern kingdom of Olton, and it made a mess of a bar, and it killed people and various other things, and it gathered a group of men to itself and started to go on a killing spree before disappearing without a trace. Some say that it has a head of metal and wings of gold and a heart of stone. Others say that it's a demon sent from the underground to punish people for their sins. Everyone just has like a little bit different tall tale to tell about it. Like, my cousin saw this, or when the last time he was in Olton, he saw blah.
Hmm.
That has been terrorizing certain parts of Olton before disappearing on the coast. Some say it's a harbinger of doom. Other ones just think it's people who talk about it are full of crap. Now, as you get
We call him Ty.
pretty much whispers of the crayfish angel, as some refer to it as, also circulate.
Oh yeah,
I told you I'd
that
make
was
you.
embarrassing.
I told you I'd make you Johnny Appleseed. Damn it! Now my plan is
That
for
was
fruition.
embarrassing. I remember that.
Yeah, so you kind of pull your pot a little lower, not making any eye contact with these people. Now, as you make your way through Prem, you just smell animals. Prem is like the major trading city of cows and sheep and goats. There's a lot of sheep here, and it smells like it. There's also a number of pockets of like farmland and things that you've passed by, but it's mostly kind of the feeling that you get is that it's mostly forest that just happens to have farms in it.
Tread is hungry.
And there are a
Thinking
number
about all
of
those woodland creatures.
not that kind of hungry, but yes, they sell a variety of meats and dairy products here. It seems to be like kind of like the major food that they sell here. There is enough grass to keep these animals fed, and of course grain and other products. But it seems like they take a certain pride in their cured meats and various other things that are related to animal husbandry. Now, this actually takes you quite a long time. This is kind of the same amount of space between Olton and that, and Senlis and the various towns. So this is taking you a while.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your way into Agon. It's not as grand as, say, the Oasis, but it definitely has this very militaristic feel to it, and like this is the seat of power. And the forest thins out a little bit around Agon, but it is still present. Most of the towns that you've encountered, like there's a foot of open space around the entire town, and then it's forest. This one has maybe 100 feet around it, or more in some places. So someone took the time to deforest the area around Agon.
You bastards!
I mean, there's like everywhere else. There's like trees every couple of feet.
Good.
Tread probably wants to make a life here and live here for eternity.
How did you know that?
Sometimes I'm a
Who
good
told
guesser.
you? I looked towards the ferret. It was you, wasn't it?
What ferret? Where'd the ferret come
I'm assuming I summoned a ferret.
Okay. Okay, this makes this a little less weird. 'Cause otherwise, you just accosted some random ferret on the road. It's like, you know my deepest thoughts.
That's funny. Oh man.
But yeah. There's not as much like things to sell, and in like the areas that sell weapons and stuff, you don't really see anything that you would really want to purchase. Bruno, it's just kind of like this is so last year in terms of your tastes.
Yeah, I had a feeling that they're a little behind.
Yeah, they're significantly behind.
I would like to say though that I'm just gonna keep my pistol in like, because Bruno wears like a coat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my pistol in my pocket with my hand on it, just in case someone wants to be fucky.
You do notice that there is a significant presence of guards, and they don't look like you've been around. You know what guards kind of look like the ones who don't really see a lot of stuff because of the years of peace. They're there in uniform, and they're just kind of lording it over. These look like hard men. These are not your average guards in regards to they look like they probably have been in conflicts for a number of years in addition to being town guards. And while there is a lot of nice like trading and stuff going around, there's just a more militarized feel to it, even more so than Sarand and even the it kind of feels similar to Sula in that the guards are aware more than you would expect them to be, and they are ready for something. You don't know what. They do, but you don't.
That's not ominous.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Alan also has provided you with a number of passports and like diplomatic documents and like general descriptions of what you look like to ensure that you are the people who are supposed to be holding on to this on really very like magical paper so that it can't be messed with. Very similar to like thank you loud engine person for driving by my house. Okay.
I think I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's very much it's one of those things where you can't really copy it unless you are very particular about things. And so he gave each of you one of those. Even one for Bruno. So you've made it into Agon. There is a castle in the middle. It's expansive. It's a very kind of mottled gray. Think like a very dull looking granite, but not necessarily a full granite pattern over everything. It's a very light thing that you have to be very close to see. And the streets are cobblestone for the most part within Agon, and you guys are there. They of course stop you as you seem to be going toward the non-commercial area, and
Okay.
ask you your business. Alan just kind of looks at you and is like in a mute, asking, like, should I deal with this or do you want to deal with this?
We're here on official business
Whose official business?
to that's for me to know. We seek an audience with John the Butcher.
John the Butcher. You wish to see the king without telling us where you're from? Or whose business you're on? Seems quite shifty to me.
You could tell him that we come on an errand from the Dervish King. Maybe that'll clear things up.
And you see the guy just kind of roll his eyes and go, if you would just be a little bit more upfront with your business beforehand, we wouldn't have conversations like this. And he summons someone and asks to see your papers. And you're approached by a higher ranked officer than just the standard guard. And he's like, papers? Papers. And he holds out his hand. And it's like, just hand them over now, is the manner you get from him.
All right, here you go.
He looks them over and he hands them back. And says, you seem to be in order. What kind of business are you on again?
Diplomatic mission.
From Olton.
Yep.
All right. Follow me. And he leads you in through the gates and into the castle, into not as grand a throne room. And significant, the Dervish King's throne room could hold this one many times over. It's a much more cozy place, probably 30 by 40. It's not a very large place. And you see sitting kind of on a throne, looking over some things, a very gruff-looking, clean-shaven man with a crown cocked on his head, a thin ring of gold with a lightly adorned amount on it, and he looks up as the man enters, and the man announces you as diplomats from Alton. And he just kind of narrows his eyes. Alton sent a man with a pot on his head to negotiate a treaty with me.
I'll speak up at this point. I've dealt with people similarly to him. I would assume.
Yeah,
Uh,
you have. I would say you probably would have heard of John the Butcher, even in parts of Alton. The story, because you've dealt with bunches of people, and they at least would have had stories of him.
More than just a man with a pot on his head. He's sent a whole team to make sure that everything goes smoothly for both parties.
And you are?
Watts, Bruno Watts.
Ah. No rank. No gentlemanry. Are any of you
No, I'm a man. I'm a man of the people.
a man of the
I actually have the ranking here. I'm a squire of the House of Aland. I
Oh.
serve Sir Algrim.
a man?
Do you know him?
Alton sent a representative from Sarand to negotiate with me. This just gets better and better.
Out of character, I have to say this. I'm sorry because it applies here. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were mocking me. Okay.
I have troubles within my own borders. Treaties going down the drain, and they send someone who's not even from the country I'm supposed to be dealing with to negotiate mutual aid. Although,
Sometimes an outside look is best, depending on the nature of the situation.
a neutral third party, if you will.
I hardly say a representative from the Dervish King's own brother's country is neutral.
More neutral than you would think.
He kind of just bobs his eyebrows. Well, it's like, I'll give you that point. What may I do for the diplomatic group from Alton?
But it's more.
We're here to determine what we can do for you.
I sent word. I have not sent word to Alton, except for a few minor messages of, well, some stirring concerns upon our western coast, and nothing that we cannot handle, by the way, and interesting tales from our northeast, and particularly from an area within my control that has eluded my authority for quite some time. So, tell me, why were you sent to me?
The Dervish King expressed concern. I could just show him. Could I show him the letter? I mean, they know each other quite well. The letter seemed to leave most that I was given as a prerequisite for coming here seem to leave the explaining as far as what you needed help with, if indeed you did need some help, or an outside neutral perspective on this, up to you.
You hand him the letter.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he gives it back.
So you hand some sovereign lord. It's like, you're gonna give this back now, right?
No, I'm not going to be obvious about it. I give him the respect to say that when he's done, he'll give it back to me.
So he takes the letter and he kind of reads it. And you see like there's a look of mild annoyance on his face during these entire proceedings, and then it just kind of intensifies as he gets through the letter, and he just is absolutely angry by the end. He just tosses the letter at you and says, "Get out! Out of my throne room! You are not even meant to speak to me as you talk with that false lord in the forest. Now go. I'll grant you this boon."
Huh.
Hey,
Oh, the Lord of
uh,
the Forest.
hey, Lundgren, did you read the letter?
I did read the letter.
What did it say?
The letter said, "Oh, references to the Lord of the Forest were vague."
Well, who does it name? Does it name the butcher?
It does name the butcher, but it
Oh,
mentions the Lord of the Forest first, and that the
oh,
correspondence was mainly from the Lord of the Forest.
now I'm confused. And rightly so. I put my diplomatic foot in my diplomatic mouth.
I probably should have had a write up of this note, but it was a last minute thing. It says, "You wish to." You see, he's just kind of fuming on there, fuming on the throne, waiting for you to leave, muttering to himself.
Can I hear it?
No, it's more like. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Is that in character?
Yeah.
No. I'm asking you what you guys would like to do in
Oh.
character.
Is the Lord of the Forest the one he wants to seek treaty with? I mean, I don't give a rip about either side here as such. I just want to make sure we don't have, flipping war.
The call for aids mentions mainly the Lord of the Forest, and it's kind of like as not necessarily an afterthought, but it's like, if you can get the Tempest King, that'd be sweet.
Oh, okay. So it mentioned him second, and now he's pissed off. Okay.
He definitely seems pissed off.
Let's go see the Lord of the Forest.
Yeah, I think we should,
Okay,
for now at least.
I'm assuming you gather up the papers and you
Yeah.
leave.
I mean, well, I'm thinking about coming back, but we better have something good so we can get back in here because he seemed pretty peed off.
It didn't seem like he wet himself.
No, indeed.
So you are
Oh man.
ushered / pushed out of the castle grounds, and you're
All
just
right.
like left outside. If it were raining and there was a door, they'd slam it behind you and close the drapes.
Feels bad, man. Just bad. All right, so we got to go see the Lord of the Forest now.
Okay, who and or where is he?
I'm gonna take a guess here and say he's probably in that section up top that says the Dark Forest.
The Dark Forest, yeah.
I would say that through asking around about like have any of you heard of the Lord of the Forest? And they just kind of look at you and it's like, there's the Lord of the Dark Forest.
Okay.
That could be it.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what we could do?
What's that?
I feel like you're gonna advocate killing John the Butcher at some point and replacing a puppet dictatorship.
To which
I
I'm gonna
mean,
say no.
I was actually gonna recommend just burning down the Dark Forest.
That's
Do
gonna be a no
We
from
just got
me.
here, dude.
Let's
you
go.
Yeah.
Let's put that at Plan B.
Or
That's
C
gonna
or
be
D
a
or
hard
E.
no from me.
Yeah.
That's a yikes for me, dog.
Ugh.
I'm the Lorax. I speak for the forest.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees.
The tree says
Cut them down, and I'll break your fucking knees.
I don't think that's how this works, but okay.
I don't know. Dr. Seuss was known for his rhyming, and that was spot on. So I mean,
I'm the
I
Lorax.
stole that from the internet. I can't take credit.
My
Darn
personal
it.
favorite is I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees. The trees say something in Vietnamese.
oh,
Oh
geez.
no. Oh man. Wow.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfuckers.
Oh,
Okay, so that first part of that went bad, I would say.
Given
So-
given the man who's known as John the Butcher, I think that went pretty well.
I shouldn't. I'm not going to show anybody the letter. I don't think anymore because that was private correspondence to me. I should have kept it private. I was just going to try to summarize what was in the letter, but I forgot that it mentioned the Lord of the Forest.
Hey, Lundgren.
Hmm.
As a note, a couple notes. This is Bruno speaking. When you're speaking with a king, don't have a pot on your head. Item number 2. When he asks you your rank or your nobility, say one higher. Because squires aren't really worth much. And if he asks you where you're from, tell him you live in the Oasis. Because that one's technically not a lie.
True. We've been there for quite a long time.
Soon you'll have to start
Those are
paying
the notes.
taxes.
Those are the notes from Bruno. And if all else
Alrighty.
fails, let me speak as the person actually from Olton.
Hmm.
Bruno's Guide to Diplomacy. Chapter 1.
Lie.
Lie.
Chapter 2, lie some more.
Chapter 3. Tell some of the truth. Chapter 4. Shoot things when things go wrong.
Yes.
Well, we already know to do that. Even I know to do that.
We get them confused.
Okay, so people know about the Lord of the Dark Forest. Maybe we should, like, I don't know, go find him. Try to go find him.
Okay.
It's the Dark Forest, so I hope we don't,
Let's-
get dead.
Let's go to the Dark Forest, guys.
All right.
Rough to see the wizard, the wonderful wrong song. Okay.
Et cetera, Babylon.
So you guys, there's a pretty decent number of like signposts in this area, and one of them is marked Dark Forest. You manage to make your way to the edge of what is startlingly different than the budding spring around you. You come to a very definite edge between this forest and the Dark Forest. The Dark Forest, the trees look leafless, like it's late autumn when when the leaves have fallen to the ground, and there's just these piles and strewn leaves all over, all withered and as if they've been blighted by something. And as you get to it, you notice as you do any of you step into the Dark Forest?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we have to
Yeah, I'm
go
gonna
in
walk
there.
right in. Okay,
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay, so everywhere else in Sunless, you notice that there are a lot of trees. There's a lot of foliage, and it's very tightly packed, and so not a lot of sunlight gets through, but there's still sunlight. As you get in here, it kind of feels like you walk into kind of like twilight, just a little bit. It's surprisingly dark for being a place filled with leafless trees.
Wow.
Wow.
What is it? Nature check? I want to say for Tread.
Okay.
All right. Even as the traveling has dulled Tread's senses, the place still feels oddly alive as you walk into the dark forest. Like you expect,
The trees are alive.
With the sound of
music. No. Like you felt the changes in the flow of energy for like when trees are dying and when a place is going into autumn and things like that. There's generally like a slowing down of life. This feels like you've walked from one living forest to another, and it feels like it's in the middle of spring, but it doesn't
Oh,
look
okay.
like it feels like spring. And
Yeah, I gotcha.
you look kind of closer, and like the the trees are just a little bit different. Like you feel they're taking in sunlight and they're feeding in things, and it feels like this is what it naturally looks like. And when you kind of shuffle through the leaves, you actually find that the leaves are actually their own little ecosystem. They
oh, wow.
they look like old leaves, but they're actually very much alive, and they are actually just growing in heaps and piles from the forest floor.
This place is amazing.
Would you rather live here than in the rest of Sunland?
I'd rather live here than in the desert.
Okay.
Just for funsies, from nowhere you hear the distant sound of a cowbell. Skull
Ah, good. He's here too.
cow. Moscow. Ding ding ding.
Tread becomes a cleric and just wears a cowbell around his neck. All hail, Skull Cow.
Yes. So there's definitely a road that leads into the dark forest, and you're following it.
Yeah.
You can hear things living in the forest, stuff moving around. Some of it heavy,
Are
some of it inconsistently sounds like it follows you. Other times you
Are
just
they-
feel like you're being watched.
they animals?
You don't really see anything.
Okay. Let's see what I can do. Anything.
Another thing about Senless is that, like Saran was super flat and kind of undulating, kind of like Kansas. This Senless is ravines and hills and winding paths all over the place. You might be the same distance you can travel in Saran and even in certain parts of Olton, is like half of what you can travel in Senless because of the amount of tree coverage and the topography that you have to deal with.
So it's not quite rough terrain, but
No, it's not rough terrain. Is that if you go in a straight line, you might just hit the side of a small hill,
oh,
or you might come
wow.
to the
Okay.
edge of a small hill or something like that.
So
Or walk off a cliff.
Not a big one, at least.
not a big one, at least. He said, as if that's made to comfort us.
It's some sort of
It's
Break
only
a
small
leg, not
cliff.
not
You
die.
You only half break your neck.
yes.
You'll break a leg, not your neck.
Break your neck, not your leg. Anyway, you travel for a couple of days in the dark forest, and it kind of makes you feel a little weird because everything's in like this perpetual lower darkness, and even when you bring up torches and make small fires for the night
Cast the light spells.
or cast light spells, it seems to be significantly dimmer than what you're used to.
Is the darkness magic?
Do you want to make an Arcana check to figure it out?
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
What's this critical failure?
I hope not. Look, it's the forest.
Okay, you during some of your readings and stuff, you know that there is magic that reduces light spells, and not necessarily cancels them like a counter spell would, but yeah, there is magical darkness.
Okay.
Traveling,
Guys, the darkness is magic. Slightly.
I can just see Lundgren with his pot on his head, sitting around the fire, looking over at Tread. Tread's eyes going different directions. The darkness is magic. What?
We don't have a palette. Do we have anyone that can detect evil?
No,
Yeah.
I can detect magic though.
I can.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It looks a little evil.
This is some bad. It's like going into the haunted house on Halloween. You think this place is evil? I'll give you one guess.
And it better not be no.
It's no.
All right, let's push on.
Yep. Let's
It's
go.
a
Let's go.
forest. It can't be evil.
Don't let your druidism blind you, Tread. Anyway, so you make your way to what you can really feels like the center of the forest, and there's this wide open clearing that you are met with, and a dark gray tower stands in the middle, and it looks a little unkempt. There is a large, just open doorway in the middle of it, just facing the road that you follow and merged onto into this area. It seems a little brighter here, but not by much. And there's like no lights within the tower itself that you can see from your current vantage point.
Can I still make my way around?
Yes. You're in an open area.
Oh, I mean about it being dark and stuff.
It's a little lighter here,
Oh, okay, but not by much.
but not by much. Correct.
Okay, okay.
All right. What do you wish to do?
Well, this looks like somebody had tried to cultivate it. Stuff. Maybe we can see to explore this place a little bit and see if we can, find somebody or something to, I guess, talk to see if we can find the Lord of the Forest somewhere. If they know, if whoever's here, whatever, if we find someone to talk to.
So you walk toward the tower, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go in the tower.
Yes.
Is it open?
There's just where you would expect a door to be, there's just kind of like this arch. And no door. It's dark inside.
I mean, if it's open, is it guarded?
Nothing you can see.
Uh, is it trapped?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take point with my snub-nosed pistol and my Gem of True Seeing.
I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You do see a high level of magic in this entire area, but it's more ambient.
Okay, something's fucky.
But you've been seeing this every. I'm assuming you would probably check your Gem of True Sight every so often in the forest. It's just like this whole area that you've been walking in, from the start of the forest to the end, has been a much higher level of ambient magic than normal.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be like active wards on the doorway. But they do seem, from your Gem of True Sight, that they are sturdier than they look. This tower seems sturdier than it looks, despite the fact that it's like kind of overgrown and mossy.
Okay.
Inside, there is a stairway one that goes down, and one that goes up. And the arch that you go through is about 8 or 9 feet tall at its height, and only gradually comes down on either side in an arch, leaving probably about 10 feet before it starts to fully slope down.
Okay. Still not worried yet. Let's push in.
Okay, there's a wide set of steps that go down and a wide set of steps that go up.
Um,
You guys want to go up and then go down if we hit the roof?
no, let's go down first. Always go down first.
Okay.
That way, you know nothing's coming up from below.
Okay.
Enemies can only come from one direction if you're on the bottom.
What?
Oh, yeah. So you avoid an evil person sandwich.
I'm sure Tread would love that.
It sounds delicious.
It's actually just tuna salad.
A little bit of hot sauce. All right. So the stairs, the ceiling in the stairwell matches about the height of the doorway. And you spiral your way down. It takes a couple of minutes, and there's little kind of globes of light. Sometimes torches, sometimes like just magical crystals that emanate the light spell as you go down. This is like the first light that you've seen that you didn't produce in the Dark Forest. And you come out of this kind of ornately carved doorway, and you see this large room open out. It kind of reminds you a little bit of the area underneath the church in Giva, but on a smaller scale. And the pillars are closer set. So like instead of 30 to 40 feet between pillars, this one has like 10. And there's a series of pillars just spreading out in all directions. Very box-like. And straight ahead of you is about 30, 40 feet. There is this large, ornate throne. And on it, you see this oversized skeleton with like a cape and a cowl on, and a silver iron band with 3 horns, one of the central one being higher than the other, on its head, with a kind of muted red gem, almost like a red turquoise, set in the brow of the circlet.
Okay.
And it's just kind of leaning in repose on this throne, and it has no jaw.
Okay.
What am I seeing with the gym? Am I seeing anything with that skeleton in regards to the gym?
The gem is not magical. There is a definite magical aura coming from the skeleton. Like, it seems to be alive, for lack of a better term, within your...
It seems
That's
to
what
be
I was-
alive.
Hello.
You see it kind of sit up straight, and in its eyeless sockets replaced as this very bright bluish-looking flame or light, and there seems to be differentiations within like whitish centers that kind of act as pupils. And it directs its attention towards you, and you hear this booming voice that seems to come from everywhere at once and says, "What is your business here?"
We have been sent by the Dervish King to discuss political and diplomatic things with you, issues.
Ah, the Dervish King. He has received my call for aid.
Yes,
Good.
he has sent us to aid you and to determine if you need further aid.
Yes. Things
Or
have...
multiple aids.
Hashtag all the aids. Um, he says, "Approach," and he kind of beckons with one of his hands. And you see that as you get closer, that it's not just what looks kind of like a large skeleton is really a large skeleton. When you get closer, he's probably Brox is like 6'6", right?
Something like that.
He's taller than Brock by at least 6 inches.
I'll move forward to him.
He kind of adjusts himself in the throne, sits a little straighter, and he says, "I am pleased that the Dervish King has sent me a." You get the sense that if he had facial muscles and a jaw, he probably would be smiling just a little bit. Such an interesting group of individuals.
Well, I'm going to take the pot off.
Yo, sorry. Take the pot off. Pot. It's off. Pot's off.
He notices you just quickly whip off the pot and put it under your arm, kind of try to hide it, and you get this throaty chuckle that emanates from him. Do not worry yourself, young one. Oh, golden one. He kind of cocks his head at you. I am, as you can tell, not what many people expect as the Lord of the Forest. But then, many things within my forest are not what they seem. But we are in dark times. An ancient
Do you mean do you mean metaphorically or literally? Because it's pretty dark outside. I don't know if that's just the whole dark forest thing.
Bruno, shh.
No. He likes humor. This is good.
While my domain is dark and light does not tend to stay here, there is a much greater danger than my small domain. While it is a powerful domain, we have held contracts with the kings in the Agon for centuries, and yet still many who have renewed their vows upon the throne still wish to try to take from me what is rightfully mine, this domain. But that is not the trouble of which I speak. Due to these ancient oaths, I am unable to leave the forest unless it is warranted to the point that my ancient abilities, and he doesn't say ancient abilities, he kind of says it in a more flowery way, and you get the sense that he's been around for a long time. You get the same kind of feel, but more intense, that you got from a Nestor. And a Nestor has been around for probably a good couple hundred years, if not more. And this guy feels more ancient than anything. He goes on to explain that pretty much the Butcher King hates him for whatever reason. He views the Dark Forest as the greatest affront to his lordship ever, and he only begrudgingly allows the Lord of the Forest when he refers to himself as the Bone Lord.
Bone Daddy.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh Lord.
That the Bone Lord himself does not leave the forest nor make it seem as if he's trying to expand the forest, because he's not, without provoking an assault from John the Butcher. And he kind of explains the whole situation in that the only reason he would leave the Dark Forest to do anything about the problems that he has would be in the most dire of circumstances, and then he would leave items of immense power up for grabs. And he doesn't want to do that. So his job is more, I will stay here and continue to guard what I have been entrusted with for millennia, while sending capable agents to deal with things until the time that they can no longer be dealt with, and I must leave this place. He describes to you a small amulet named called the Rising Sun, and he says that this item that was in his possession, entrusted to him, has gone missing, and that this leads to a series of other events, and that another group of adventurers had come to his domain asking for guidance, dealing with the aftermath of one of their members, for lack of a better term, ingesting a magical crystal sphere inside them. And after they showed up, he checked on the amulet, and the amulet was gone. And while he sent them to take care of finding that amulet and dealing with those other crystal spheres that he knows of, he needs somebody to deal with the forces that are amassing outside of Senless and the ancient evils that he feels are broiling to the point that he can even feel them from here, somewhere off to the west. His guess is that it is taking place in the ancient land of Gant Evos, and that the troubles that once sunk it under its poor choices are coming back, and they're becoming more active.
The ruin left to time.
Yes.
Hmm.
And pretty much he's
Called it.
Called it.
Yeah. It's pretty much, yeah.
Skull Cow knew.
Skull Cow. Dung dung.
If that was his Gant Evos, that's great. That's back north of where home is at. Because we learned about that place a couple weeks ago when the old elf told us.
Yes. He asks you to look into a couple of things within Senless for him before doing anything with researching what is happening over in Gantivos.
Okay.
There is stories of some say it's a revenant, some say it's just a man, but something has been attacking individuals who follow what he refers to as a recently developed following of men and women wearing star pendants. He kind of indicates a small size with his massive finger and thumb, leaving burned handprints in certain parts of villages, and especially on the bodies that are left somewhere in the south. South of a place he refers to as Hedrii, and southeast of a place called Prem, where you had already been.
Great.
He says he feels that who or whatever this individual is would serve well in recruiting, as they seem to be doing quite well on their own. And he believes that this group of individuals, in quotes, has something to do with the rising within Gant Evos.
Well, we'll get right on that then.
Yes. He thanks you for accepting this task. He reminisces a little bit of a time, of the number of times where once he was a young adventurer, going around not necessarily solving problems but dealing with things that had to be dealt with, and of the many people who have been lost to such endeavors over the years. And it kind of warms his heartless chest to see that no matter what the trials that have gone through and the wars that are waged, that there's still people out there who kind of do this. But it is unfortunate that, to him at least, that the need for them is still around. He also makes references to the forces from the Silver Mountain having come to request aid from him as well. He suggests that perhaps you should also try to contact them and he can like arrange a meeting.
These forces from the Silver Mountain, these representatives, are these the same as the other group of adventurers you mentioned who came here?
He emphatically says that they are not the same ones. While the
Okay, so
adventurers that
two
he
groups.
encountered before were from the edges of his own domain. Like some of them had lived in the Dark Forest or worked in the Dark Forest before, and others came definitely from Senless. He names a small town known as Groomsh's Haven, and that these are significantly different individuals. These are, he refers to you as more like irregular units,
Okay.
while these are like a significant part of the main fighting force of another country.
Okay. You said one these adventurers. You said one of their member had swallowed some kind of glowing crystal.
He explains that the crystal fused with this individual for whatever reason, whether to preserve itself or part of the ancient magics that went into creating this thing go on. And he says that you really don't need to worry about it, as he prefers to
Okay.
not have all of his eggs in one basket, for lack of a better
I-
term.
I got you. I got you.
He explains that he feels this is more of a two-pronged job, while you deal with, because the request he had from the Dervish King is like, send me your people who kill people and like get into hard places, and he sent you guys.
I like it.
And the other one is like, we have a magical problem. This has led to a greater magical problem that leads to yet another magical problem that needs to be taken care of. So instead of having like, okay, well, let's have 16 different teams try to go on one thing that's an inefficient use of manpower, we're going to attack both things since they're connected from multiple sides.
Smart. Okay.
Well, with that, I think we'll end today's session. And we have one more session before I'm off for quote-unquote vacation. So we'll end there. Cool music plays as lights go down, and we will catch you next time as we continue the story of the Onyx Fell